What does it mean to be a renegade? You're here asking me that. I don't. I mean, somehow or another, I guess I couldn't really help but do it any other way than the way I did it. And by some, good fortune, after decades of pounding my head against the wall, things, worked out. But there was never any other way to do it for me. Even when I think about it, doing it another way. I mean, I didn't know that I would end up in my garage talking to people or doing a podcast or whatever. But whatever I did, whether it's stand-up comedy or whatever I'm doing now, I can't, there's nothing I can do right now to make it any different. Taking risks, I don't know if I'm always aware of it, but it is something I do because everything is very urgent to me, and it's just a behavioral thing, it's an emotional thing, that everything is very important, always. Everything is very sort of if I do stand-up, or if I'm on the mic in here, or if I'm talking to somebody, there's not a lot of forethought that's going in. I need some sort of emotional connection or feedback, then has to happen. So because of that, because I don't have much filter around my emotional presence, it's a little risky. I could get hurt, but I don't mind. I mean, I'm not gonna get heartbroken too much. How much can a heart break, actually? When does that stop? But if I go on stage in front of a crowd and it's not going well, it hurts. But I can get through that. But look, I'm not a crazy risk taker. I did drugs for a long time, but I didn't do all of them. Well, I'm not one of those people that has to end up in prison or on a gurney to learn my lesson. So there's some part of my brain that is always known to grab me by the back of my shirt and pull me back. Some people don't have that, and some of those people that don't have that have done amazing things if they survive that. I'm happy I have that part of my conscience or my self-protective sense. So my risk taking is generally limited to emotional risk taking that I don't seem to have much control over. As a stand-up, even when I wasn't making a living or necessarily very successful, it's all on you. So if something goes wrong, there are other elements. The audience could stink, the joke could not work or whatever, but you're living this life where it's not a normal life. But the pros are, with the podcast specifically, is that I never saw myself as a business person, and I do this thing with just one other dude, and he's in New York. He's my producer and partner, and we have a business. I never saw that happening, so we don't have to answer to anybody. We can say no, and no one can tell us what to do and what not to do. It's great. It's all the great things of being, a belligerent child. I'm a comedian, and I host a podcast called WTF, and we're in my garage where I do the podcast part. It'd be sad if I did stand-up in here.